top 25 albums of
Top 5 albums of all time.
if all time is only this year, then yeah.
Were you born yesterday? Here we go.
Here we go. We're starting with our consensus picks for top 25. It felt only right to do more positive albums than negative albums. Micah, you want to take us in with our number 25 pick by consensus score?
That's going to have to be The Last Dinner Party, an ironic title to be the first and last, first and lowest. Anyways, Prelude to Ecstasy.
Yeah.
We went into this thinking we were going to hate it.
Yeah, album cover makes it look like something we would hate. Realistically, it's just super nice. Like, very elegant album.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this album lives in 79 jail.
It does, yeah. User score on Album of the Year, it is in 79 jail unfairly.
Yeah, it should be in 80 jail.
80 seems about right. We might have overrated it a tiny bit, but I do come back to this.
So do I. Yeah, Feminine Urge is a fucking heater. I ended up with a 90 on that.
Beautiful Boy, too.
Oh, yeah, all good.
Yeah, I have an 89, so we're about on the same page.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. We're starting our top 25 consensus with an 89.
Yeah, it was a crazy good year, so that's a pretty high score to start with, but it only gets higher.
Yeah, we've got one more 89 passes, actually. Tied with this, we have Blade Cold Visions, too.
Yeah.
We forgot to talk about The Last Dinner Party. Do you have anything else to say about that besides good glam rock?
I don't think so. I mean, we might as well keep it a little more simple for the lower ones on the list here because we got a lot to get through. But yeah, it's really good. Super nice vocals. It's lovely.
And then next we have a little bit of a hot take here. We got Blade Cold Visions.
Yeah.
You gave this a 99.
I love this album. I love this album a lot.
I gave this an 80. I thought it was good. I thought it was just good. Good solid Blade project. So what everyone else looks like too. It's up there in the consensus ratings of Blade albums.
Yeah, it had a really high user score must hear for like the first day, and then it immediately lost it, which is exactly what I expected to happen.
Yep. Insane Blade fans dropped hundreds on it, and then everyone who thought it was mid dropped the mid scores on it.
Blade ended up being my top artist for minutes listened to this year, and I find that really funny that it happened. I did not think that would.
That is hilarious.
This 30-song album, though, is a good reason why that was part of that. He went 30 for 30 at age 30. Blade's killing it. I think this is his best album, honestly. The Rage implementations worked really well.
Even better than Ice Dancer?
Yeah.
I'd agree.
Yeah, I just like it a lot. I think this is Blade's best year.
I like this more than I like any other Blade project that I've heard so far.
Yeah. I got songs like I Don't Like People with Young Lean on here, of course. Just so many bangers.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Move on to another interesting bangers. We have Poppy's Negative Spaces. This is one we both agreed on. We both dropped 9s on this one.
Yeah, we got a clean 90.
Official start to our 9s.
Yeah. Kind of doing some new metal stuff, but a little more than that too.
Poppy was going wee wee wah wah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Whatever that means to you.
Yep, besides that thing.
Yeah, got some pop stuff in here too, which was really cool.
Yeah, Poppy being her usual AI self, making some pop-in music.
Very eclectic.
Yeah, she also featured on a song this year that was Suffocate by Knocked Loose. That was also some heat. So just an overall good year for Poppy.
True. Yeah, I forget that happened when I think about that album.
That's like my favorite song on that album.
Crazy. Good pick, though. Very good song.
Another heater coming at us. That surprised the shit out of us. Joey Valance and Bray with No Hands.
Yeah.
This was in our Brat Summer era.
True. Yeah, this was...
We were having No Hands and Brat in the same week. We were eating good.
Was that the same week?
I believe so.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
June 6th, 7th?
Yeah. So many fun summer songs that week.
Another album stuck in 79 jail.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, but I can kind of get it because it's mostly Beastie Boys revivalism.
Oh, fucking Poppy's in 79 jail too. What the fuck?
Ah, you hate to see it.
Hate to see it.
You hate to see it. I don't know. This album is just so much fun, though. It's a blast to listen to.
Oh, yeah. Another album that's a blast to listen to is Magdalena Imaginal Disc. This one was one I was insanely high on, and you were right about the consensus. Isn't in 79 jail. It's an 89 prison. It's a good place to be.
That's not even jail. That's just a nice little island.
Yeah.
Highest rated album of the year seems to have
number
impressed the most people. Metal.
Top 100 of all time.
Number 82 in the top 100 of
Yeah.
all time. Just a very well-respected album. One of the bigger moments in pop music, but it's a little bit more experimental, too.
Yeah, it was just overall just good.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Almost perfect. Had a couple things that I didn't quite love about every single song, but we won't get too deep into that. We'll just keep scooting along to Gao the Arsonist and They Mine for Our Bodies. Good, calm Minecraft music here.
Ambient tracks to chill to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing else going on here.
Definitely not some of the more distorted and aggressive and loud rap music that came out this year. Definitely not that.
It isn't that.
No, of course not.
That's for sure.
Kind of a JPEG Mafia influence, but doing his own thing with it. Got like a whole universe he's building up here.
Yes, sir. He's taking us to the Shadow Realm.
Really cool lyrical imagery.
I think this was another one where I was a little higher than you. Was it a 92? You were at 89?
I think so. I haven't plugged that in, but yeah, I believe in 89. I'll plug that in right now. Why not? Number 19, we got Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds with Wild God, a bit of a legacy artist here.
I think the Seeds are pretty good.
These are some pretty good seeds, I must say. It's just a majestic album full of diverse sounds.
A magician album.
It's magical. It could be a magician album.
Yes, sir. Speaking of magician albums, this one appeared out of fucking nowhere. Kendrick Lamar's GNX.
Yeah, didn't have anything else to say about Wild God?
It's real good, real good.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it. It's got some shit in there you should go listen to. Everyone who needs to hear this album has probably heard this album.
True, yeah, but if you haven't, like, give it a fair shake, give it a good chance. It took a little bit of growing on me, but it grew on me pretty quickly.
I'll grow on you, alright.
Kind of art rock, I guess? Like, what do you even...
I call it real good music.
Yeah, I guess art rock. Art rock singer-songwriter.
Yeah, it's just real good tunes. That's what it is.
It's real good tunes, very conceptual, very grandiose, super nice stuff.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, we can then move on to number 18 pick at a 91% consensus, Kendrick Lamar, GNX, the end of Kendrick's insane run this year.
Yeah, he's been throwing banger after banger.
Yeah. You got songs that are already legendary on here, such as TV Off.
Fucking,
Squabble Up.
Yeah, every single track on this album.
Pretty much, yeah. Arguably, I'd say everything here but GNX, the title track, is contenders for some of his best songs, which says a lot for Kendrick.
Oh, easily.
Yeah, like, if you made a even top 20 list of his best songs, I think a couple would have to get in here, and he's got masterpieces at this point.
They're just sitting there waiting.
Heart Part 6 was a great moment as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Gloria too, if we're gonna highlight some of the more chill tracks while we're at it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Kendrick hitting us with a surprise drop after all the beef too. This was just another moment in time for music this year. A weird fall drop too. I really would have expected this to be a summer drop when the heat was still hot, but
yeah, dropped in the morning too.
Yeah.
I remember I was listening to an album that I legitimately hate in the morning, and then this just dropped while I was listening to it. And I was like, hold on, gotta wash my ears out with this.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, great little moment for rap music in general, as was just everything he did this year. So much fun stuff on here, and such a catchy album too. Bringing back the West Coast.
Bringing back the West Coast. The West Coast is here. We both landed on 91 in this album, but let's slide on over to another really good album. I believe this one was sent to us, right?
Yes, yeah.
Auric Echoes, Division for Human Ascension. We are still the only 2 ratings on this album, so you guys should really listen to this. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I just know that we probably have a ton of people who would watch this podcast who are into bands like Black Midi, and if that's your bag, this is going to be right up your alley. And any of the bands that are adjacent to that, I mean, like, take your pick.
Genre would you call this?
Experimental rock, art rock, I mean, noise rock. All of the artsy genres of rock. Depends on what you want.
Hell yeah.
Very conceptual as well, and just instrumentally impressive, vocally impressive all the way through.
Just all in all, well deserving of our 17th spot.
Yeah, it really feels like a full piece
Yeah.
of an album.
Yeah. Every album past that's going to feel like a full meal looking up at our list.
Yeah, this is one that you just don't really separate it that much, though, I think. You know what I mean?
No. This one should be played as the whole album. And then above that, we have a Vampire Weekend. This was a whole arc that you had, Vampire Weekend, because I've known about him for a little while, but this was like your introduction. You're like, all right, let me go listen to all the Vampire Weekend. All right, Contra sucks. Modern Vampires of the City is awesome. Fuck everything else.
No. That wasn't the case. I actually liked Contra quite a bit.
Oh, you didn't like the self-title. That's right.
I have thought the self-titled was overrated at best for quite a few years now. I liked it a little bit better coming back to it, or probably a significant bit better. And then, yeah, I went through and listened to everything else, liked Contra, and I was surprised by that. And Modern Vampires of the City is like, I wouldn't say one of my favorite albums, but I was shocked by how good it was. And I would say this one almost lives up to it.
You give it a 94. This is not one of your favorites, but you give it a 94, you sick fuck.
I mean, like, of all time.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't put it in my top 10 albums or anything, but
no.
it would make an appearance in a top 50 albums of all time. And I just always had a bad taste in my mouth for Vampire Weekend, so I was so shocked that I liked this latest album and Modern Vampires of the City so much from them.
Past that, we do have some legendary releases coming up. We got up next year at number 15. I think at this point forward, all these albums are pretty impactful.
Oh, most definitely.
Even more so when we get to the top 10. But right now we have no title as of 13 February 2024, 28,340 dead.
Yeah. From Godspeed You, Black Emperor.
Yes, sir.
You're the Godspeed fan even more so than I am. Take it away. What do you think?
I have them tattooed on my body.
True.
This album was some commentary on what's happening over the Middle East. This album is just fucking fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic post-rock. I've seen some people comparing it to F sharp, A sharp, Infinity. I still think it's a lot better, but it's definitely one of their better albums overall. Like, it's definitely better than something they've released since Hallelujah, Don't Bend, Descend.
I'd agree.
And you could argue it's better than anything they've released since Lift Your Skinny Fist.
Sonically speaking, I'd say the closest thing that it's following up is Lift Your Skinny Fists, honestly. It gives me that vibe for at least the first half of it.
Yeah, definitely. I could see that.
Yeah. Instrumental albums this year, this is one of the best you're gonna get.
This is the best you're gonna get.
It's hard to compete with it. It's hard to even put a score on this given the context of it.
Yeah, but we landed at a 92.
Yeah, we both did. Yeah. So, I mean, it's breathtaking at points. It's a really incredible listen, though.
And then another incredible listen is Tyler, the Creator's Chromacopia. This would be his fourth album in the new era because Cherry Bomb doesn't count. And he's just knocking it out of the park once again.
Yeah, everything that's dropped since Flower Boy has been incredible. Or at least great.
And everyone agrees.
Yeah. Another great release from him. Some of the most conceptual writing, I would say. Got a lot of storytelling and such here.
Yeah, definitely. This one's probably the most personal album, I would say, kind of.
Yeah.
Feels more like him than a character.
That's true, yeah. I mean, like him definitely shows that off.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say Igor is potentially more vulnerable, but this one's more personal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Great songs all over it, though. I mean, Sticky's having a moment right now, which I guess I really didn't expect.
I like Sticky. I think I said that was my favorite in the episode.
Really?
I believe so.
Wow.
I liked Sticky.
A lot of people are kind of on the same page as you. I do like the song, don't get me wrong. It's not one of my all-time favorites, kind of lands somewhere around the middle. I just felt like it wasn't one of the more accessible songs, so I'm really surprised at the run that it's having right now.
Well, you felt wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. When I look at the track list, I'm thinking Ra-Ta-Ta, Darling I,
probably my favorite now, but
even Thought I Was Dead feel like more accessible and just like you can play them anywhere types of songs to me. But Sticky's really having a moment with just everyone right now.
Hell yeah, dude.
I went outside and I heard it in a Topper's Pizza, and then I heard it playing from someone's car right after that.
I heard it in public too. I was driving and I heard it in public just a little bit.
It's so crazy the rise that Tyler the Creator has had since we've been listening to him, and especially just since the earliest days.
Oh my god, because we got in when Cherry Bomb was new. I got in around when like Wolf was like a year old already.
Yeah, imagining that same artist being someone who's played outside twice within like the same hour is fucking crazy. Selling out stadiums and stuff now. Shit, it's a crazy come up.
Yeah, dude, it's Insano style with a side of cheese.
Wonderful little album from him.
Hell yeah.
It's got a little something for everybody too. I feel like it kind of runs the gambit in sound.
And then up next year we have an EP, Turnabout's Obscura Noctis Mors. I know we loved this, but it seems like that the public has fallen off of it a little bit.
A little.
Our takes are technically hot now.
Oh yeah. It was kind of right out the gate too.
Yeah, that's fair. But we got Turnabout hit us with an awesome EP, then dropped another EP that wasn't nearly as awesome. Then dropped some singles that were good.
Yeah.
Haven't heard the new one, Hex Maniac, that came out a couple of weeks or two ago. Still haven't heard that one. It's got a new look and a new album coming out in 2025, so watch out for us reviewing that potentially.
Most definitely. We'll have to check it out still. I don't think that Mortem Solace lived up to Obscura Noctis Mors at all.
Definitely did not.
But this was really impressive. Kind of taking a big witch house mixed with black metal type approach on the first song, Luctus Main, which is probably the biggest highlight on it, I think.
Yeah, Luctus Main was the heat. Tech 9 was good.
And then you had the closer there being a heavy on the instrumental type song. Really cool closer there. I mean, all 4 songs here were just awesome.
Hell yeah.
And sharing this spot, because that's an EP, we decided to just put another EP right next to it, right above it. We got Maruha coming through here with another very impressive, like, noise rock, art rock kind of thing. They got their new EP, Conla's Well. It's just really awesome stuff from the band yet again. They're kind of taking some Swans influence, so if you're into that, you'll definitely be into this.
Yes, sir. This EP was fantastic. They basically dropped their hard drive on YouTube after that, and then in October they dropped a single that we haven't talked about, but you guys should still go check out. Hopefully they're gearing up for a new album.
Yeah, we're waiting for an album from them because that is going to probably be an incredibly ambitious piece of work because the 2 EPs they've put out so far definitely have been.
Definitely.
Yeah, super solid little EP here, and it's just exciting to see another band starting off and sounding this great.
Hell yeah, dude. And then someone who didn't start off sounding great, but then just decided randomly to start making some of the best music around, Lil Yachty.
Yeah, with Bad Cameo, one of my favorites of the year.
Second one in this little series he's doing, where he's going a more psychedelic route. This would considered art pop over psychedelic rock.
Yeah.
More exploring the psychedelic genres and doing a damn good job at it.
Absolutely. I actually prefer this to Let's Start Here, which I realize is an outrageous and blasphemous take.
It is.
But I really like the chemistry here between James Lake and Lil Yachty. The songs here just hit for me, but pop rap type stuff like this just is kind of a cheat code for me. I don't know if you even want to call this that, but he is rapping on several songs here.
The tags are art pop, neo psychedelia, and alternative R&B.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess either way, whatever you want to call this, it is some music that I can turn on in any setting. It is either an emotional experience or just a nice little vibe.
Yeah, it's all heat. It's all heat.
Yeah. It's something that's very accessible, but also very trippy and very cool all around.
And then something in a similar vein, actually, right up above it, we have Jussie the Tree barely missing the mark on the top 10 with Not Fade Away.
Can't believe this didn't crack the top 10.
I mean, it's your fault, unironically.
Yeah, I think that as the years progress, this has actually grown on me and this has grown off you. Is that right?
No. Nah, I just played it to death, and then I left it alone for a little while and came back to it today, and it was fine.
Oh, okay. Solid. Fair enough.
But fine, I mean, I'm at a 93.
I've spent a lot of time with this album on. It's some kind of like... yeah, I guess it is somewhat psychedelic and poppy rap type stuff.
It's some stoner rap.
Stoner rap. I don't know if that's a real thing people say, but that is what I would call it for sure. Is stoner rap a thing?
It is now.
It is now, and Jesse the Tree's doing it.
Mhm.
Kind of a vintage type thing on this, though, too.
Yeah, no, we've got some heaters on here like Heaven, Butterfly Tattoo, and Bug Flesh. Those were like some of the best rap songs I've ever heard. And a little bit of lore about like a little update on Jesse the Tree, because this album came out way back in January already.
Mm-hmm.
He actually appeared on a project with I don't know how to fucking say this guy's name, and Kenny Siegel. Some guy. It's K dash the dash I and 3 question marks.
Oh?
I don't know who that is.
Oh. Yeah.
But I know who Kenny Siegel is.
Yes.
And Kenny Siegel is like friends with the Open Mike Eagle and Arm & Hammer and all that stuff. And they're on this album along with Jesse the Tree. So he got a feature, not in the same track as Open Mike Eagle, but the same project. And that's crazy. He's moving up, dude.
That's actually really cool. Yeah, seeing him 1 degree of separation away from Arm & Hammer is really neat as well.
Yeah, dude.
He's getting some cred now, and that's good because just as a rapper, so talented.
With some of my favorite rappers. Yeah.
He has such a good grasp on flow and just sounds so smooth saying everything he says.
I think technically he would be considered conscious hip hop. I think that's like what people are gonna label him as.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's in that crowd.
Somewhat psychedelic with it, sometimes getting a little bit of an emotional edge, but equal amount of times just being kind of fun.
Sure.
Very cool album. I would recommend it to anyone who likes rap even a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely
Fantastic.
super easy to love.
But after that, we're breaking into our top 10. Unfortunately, Brat Summer was only number 10 on our list.
Yeah, just so many good albums this year. I mean, we had to bump up our scores because it grew on both of us.
I ended up being at a 95.
Yeah.
And you ended up being at a 93.
Yeah, we both gave it lower than that.
Yeah, originally. I was considering 100 the whole year after our episode came out. I was like, oh, fuck.
It's a 10 out of 10 moment.
For real. But there's some missteps on the album.
Yeah.
That stop it from being with 10. But overall, fantastic. Love Brat Summer. Love all of everyone's profile picture being the Brat font. Love it.
Right, yeah. Totally. I didn't expect to like this very much. I'm going to keep it real, but...
Oh, I knew I'd like it. It's Charlie X6, bro.
Just the presentation going into it kind of threw things off for me, and Crash was, I wouldn't say mediocre, but not one of her best albums, so I wasn't really anticipating this being such a moment and being such a good album, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but drive fast to this one.
Back.
Be safe, but drive fast.
Be safe, for real.
Yeah.
And then up next we have a hot take out of you, Mavi's Shadowbox. This one's still in list here. It's not in 79 jail.
Thank God. It's just at a clean 80, and it better stay there, damn it.
I gave it an 89, and you gave it a 100. So I was warm on it, and you were hot on it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll let you take away.
Lyrically speaking, my favorite album of the year. I think that there's so much to dive into there, and I think that Mavi is a lyrical genius and one of the best out there doing it right now. And the production style of this is just exactly what I'm itching for when I come to this like more abstract side, more experimental, I guess you could say, side of hip-hop in general. Super smooth on the ears, but it has this overwhelming, depressing vibe about it too. The other thing that I really love about this that needs to be commented on is how much he manages to pack into 33 minutes. This is such a quick listen, but it's so effective.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you got anything on it?
I thought it was just really good.
Just really good?
It was just really good. Otherwise, you took all the good words I was going to use. But you know what I do want to use some good words on? Blood Incantation, Absolute Elsewhere. This is my favorite metal album of the year. As far as I'm going, favorite metal album of the year. Loved this fucking space fucking progressive death metal shenanigans happening in my ear. Fucking Berlin school, whatever the hell that means.
Yeah, that's kind of
Love.
the electronic elements of the album.
Yeah, but loved this album. I could just sit here and turn this on while like doing nerdy shit, or I could slap this on around and all the D&D nerds. It's just awesome ambience.
Instrumentally, one of the more impressive metal albums to come out this year in an already really great year, and it's so adventurous.
Yes, sir. It's got a Stargate reference in the first three tracks. I love it.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's got a nice little concept to it, and it's a very immersive listen.
I will never get over how the entire band looks like they would be at your local Magic the Gathering tournament.
Yeah, yeah, it's fitting. It works.
I want them to show up, please. I'm there. I'm waiting.
The music has a nerdy, more sci-fi concept to it, so I could see it. I could see
Well, the
it.
whole band does.
True, yeah. This is that alien death metal, but like not Rings of Saturn.
Yeah, this is Rings of Saturn to make it better.
Yeah. Rings of Saturn without the core.
Yeah. Oh, so it's just perfect.
Just death.
Just death.
Yeah.
And then, oh god, one of the best rap albums, if not the best rap album of the year. Aller himself.
Yeah.
Anything helps. No drugs.
Yeah.
This is one that we both own physically now.
On cassette, yes.
He sent us a cassette tape.
Yeah.
Sent a lot of people a cassette tape, I believe. And anyone who wanted it just got to pay shipping, right?
Yeah, you just have to pay shipping for his physical releases, and he has a new one out as well.
It's Sweet Evolutions. Big word when I'm big dumb.
Yeah.
But this has the nerdy fucking like fantasy cover, but it's all just like the most serious and good conscious hip hop you've ever heard in your entire life.
Yeah, very serious concept to it and some very heavy subject matter in the lyrics. It's a concept album about the homelessness and drug epidemic in Seattle, and it works so well
Yeah, Seattle.
doing that.
Yes, sir.
Somewhat similar to Mavi in that it's a very short but very effective album. There's actually quite a few parallels you could draw there now that I'm thinking about it, but this is only 26 minutes and it's so worthwhile.
Definitely.
The samples and stuff in here do such a great job of conveying the message of it. It's all just so solid.
And another album that's super solid but scary, Euboa Impossible Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's just a wall of noise that tries to fucking eat you.
Insanely loud, insanely abrasive.
Still maintaining its 80, so it gets the mustier tag.
Yeah. Again, better fucking stay there. This shit's incredible. She does it again. I didn't think that I would ever be more impressed by her work than I was with
The Origin of My Depression.
yeah, The Origin of My Depression, but this did it. This most certainly did it by being even more experimental.
Hell yeah.
You got some song structures like the closer there that are super abstract and very ambitious.
Yeah, this whole thing was just scary.
Yeah.
The fucking two genre tags were death industrial, just fucking workplace accident, and then dark ambient.
Workplace accident.
If you call your genre death industrial, I'm imagining a workplace accident noises.
Bro's looking at Live Leak right now.
This album is live leak, but for the ears, but not that even a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking with just how aggressive it is, and then there's a lot of emotion packed into it kind of below the surface there.
Friggin' heat all around. Scary heat.
Incredible.
That was our number 6 spot, and then now we're breaking into our top 5. This is the territory where co-hosts here might have a couple 100s, and even we have a couple 100s in here.
There's a consensus one.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Kicking 2 of them.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Kicking it off with Shoo Shoo, 13-inch Frank Beltrame Italian stiletto with bison horn grips. Shortest album title. You could also abbreviate it as 13-inch FBIS BHG, because it rolls right off the tongue.
That really rolls off the tongue. It's very akin to T-Pab that way.
Fibis Spugga.
Yeah.
We have Shoo Shoo's 13-inch Fibis Spugga.
Yeah. That'll work. One of the craziest album titles for one of the craziest albums that came out this year, and yet it is still somehow Shoo Shoo at their most accessible.
Yeah. It's songs like Benedictium and Common Loon, potentially some of the most successful songs on that album. We also got to Hear It Live, which was crazy. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they closed with Beneficium, and that was fucking immaculate.
Perfect. Yeah, it was perfect.
Perfect closer, such a dynamic one.
This album would be perfect if they'd switched up the ordering of the tracks.
Yeah, we noticed that later on. The sequencing seems a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Very, very good album.
if you take any individual song, it's like, oh, that's basically perfect.
Yeah, definitely. But something that you thought was literally perfect, we have Knocked Loose.
Yeah, and you came pretty close as well.
I was pretty close. I was at a 92.
I said this in the episode, and I say it when I come back to it too. I truly believe this is the best metalcore album of all time.
I'll give it to you. I'll give you best metalcore album.
I mean, I like it better than anything Converge has done.
Yeah, it's not a very tough competition in my opinion.
No, nothing this
Good.
just impressive all around in every aspect.
Just good. And something that I thought was super impressive was on a number 3 spot, Kamasi Washington, Fearless Movement, potentially the best jazz album I've ever heard in my entire life. This album is perfect, from the opener being the little like chanting thing into a 9-minute song to track 2 hitting you with Thundercat, and then halfway through the album we get lit. Oh, it's just perfect through and through.
I can't argue with it. I can't say that I get quite that much from it, but I did still give it a 95. I mean, I'm thoroughly impressed with how this sounds.
Yeah, you were really close. So now me and you get to choose our album of the year here, because we have a tie. We have Jack Name, Fabulous Soundtrack, and Jordy Greep's The New Sound, right?
Yeah. I should also say that since we're going by consensus, when we have the same score on everything, I just ordered them alphabetically.
Oh, I thought it was chronological.
Yeah. No, it's just alphabetically when we have the same score. But I think the way that it always worked out was kind of all right anyways. I didn't notice too many discrepancies in the alphabet. Yeah, okay, I did do right. Jordy Greep.
I did the same thing.
Comes before Jack Name. Yeah, we were both sitting here over like, wait, does it? But yeah, I did it right. G comes before J, and I think that Jordy Greep is the top one. But let's talk about Jack Name first.
Wow. No, this album was just fantastic. With Big Monsoon being my favorite.
Yeah. Walking in the Park, the opener here, is pretty strong contender for my favorite, but
Walk in the Park at Night.
What?
Walk in the Park at Night.
Yeah, I guess it's not all in the title. It's just Walking in the Park, but the song says Walking in the Park at Night. I don't
know. The song title is Walking in the Park at Night.
Oh, either way. Yeah, Walking in the Park at Night ends up being my favorite. I think it's just the easiest one to separate from the album, right? Would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing is just this eerie little psychedelic folk thing. It's very cool, and there's nothing else quite like it.
There's not.
There is not.
This is it. That's all you get.
It's kind of got an outsider music vibe about it. Jack Name doesn't really have a big internet presence, so there's a lot of mysteriousness here, right down to the very mysterious looking album cover.
This album's Scaring the Hose 3.
I mean, yeah, it's different though. It's very scary.
Definitely. I feel like you could separate Big Monsoon. That was like the only thing and difference that I think we had in this. Otherwise, everything is perfect.
Yeah, Big Monsoon is one of the catchier ones on here, and I guess it does stand out in that way.
Oh, and the visuals of this album too are insane. Like, you need to watch the music videos for this one if you haven't. All 7 of you.
Yeah, the music videos are super cool.
More of you need to also review this album.
Most definitely. It's a pretty underground album. Again, kind of has that weird little outsider vibe, so it's pretty far off the beaten path. Very worth your time. And I can't say it's going to be for everybody, but if it clicks, it really clicks. I remember when this album clicked for me, I got kind of not quite lost, I would say, but like I really didn't know where I was, and I kept losing GPS signal, and it was in a country road type area, but a very wooded area as well, and it was super spooky, and it just unsettled me quite a lot, but it was very cool.
I believe I was Stony Baloney and it scared
me. yeah, not a good one to chill to, but a very good listen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I guess that moves us on.
Our top album of the year.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be Jordy Greep, The New Sound. This is the new sound. He reinvented music and made it good.
Yeah. Music 2.0 just got here.
Yep. You like music? Yes, I do. It's right here.
He was obviously the lead vocalist alongside Cameron, but one of two vocalists of Black Midi, and then Black Midi very unexpectedly broke up, and it was a very sad moment. But this kind of shows that maybe it was the best case scenario, oddly enough.
They peaked and they were like, all right, time to peak even higher.
I think that splitting off let Greep here spread his wings fully and get the full artistic ambition out there.
Yeah, and it's all fantastic.
Yeah, sounds the most similar to Schlegenheim out of anything else he's been attached to.
Which was our favorite.
Yeah.
There is a Welcome to Hell reference on the album on Walk Up.
Yes. A lot of these songs were performed in Black Midi and were just already written. The Magician is the most notable one of the bunch that became a staple at the shows before they broke up.
Yeah, I wish we could have seen that live.
Yeah, I did see them, but it was before Hellfire, so before any of that as well. Yeah. So I got to hear a lot of Hellfire songs because they were just playing a bunch of those live. Did not get to hear The Magician, unfortunately. The 12-minute amazing adventure of emotional songwriting that it is.
A contender for one of the songs of the year.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you right now that's gonna land pretty high on my list.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but everything on here is really fantastic. You got one feature on here, and that is Seth Evans of HMLTD.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot he featured on this album.
Yeah, you got him on Motorbike.
He was on Motorbike.
Yeah,
that's crazy. It's good hearing from them because it's been a minute.
It has been a minute since we saw like a album from HMLTD, and Seth Evans does fucking fantastic on that song. One of my favorites of the whole album.
But it's all good. I mind favoriting it being Walk Up, but it's all good.
So much storytelling too.
Yeah. When's the next West of Eden gonna come out?
Yeah, for real.
Come on, motherfucker. We know you're working on something.
Yeah. Does HMLTD need to break up to get that to happen again?
Oh no.
I hope not.
They do a third album, then they break up. That's the new law.
That's the meta.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to hear a Black Midi album I would like as much as Schlagenheim, but this is like next best thing, easily next best contender, and I think I like it better than any Black Midi album at this point.
Same. I think it just is better, which is kind of crazy. This album landed in the top 5 of user scores. It was number 2 as well.
Yeah, consensus, this is one of the best albums of the year, and I could not agree more.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I would say with Magdalena Bay and Brat, it was kind of the third moment of the year.
Yeah, we got one every 4 months, basically.
Blew everybody away, and we were right there with it.
We were here.
A lot of jazz influence on here, too, which I assume probably helped your enjoyment of it.
Love the jazzy elements and the him talking about horse cum. That was fantastic.
Some truly unique lyrics.
Truly.
It's fantastic, it's ambitious, it's grandiose, and it is well deserving of our top spot.
And I believe that is our list for the year, and now we get to move on to our best songs.
Yeah, individually.
Little thing about our songs is I tried to grab singles as much as I could. I notably didn't take a pick from Jordy Greep's album because I wanted to find some more underground stuff to shout out. But I do have a couple obvious picks up here. But I feel like I couldn't pick one from Jordy Greep, so Jordy Greep is my 0, top song. The whole album goes up there. You can't make me pick one.
Not specifically The Magician or anything?
Nope.
All right.
It's all perfect.
All right, that's fair.
It's all too good.
Yeah, that's fair.
That album is up there in my 100s even.
Yeah, me too.
What was your number 10 spot for top song of 2024?
Why don't you go first?
No, why don't you go first?
Nah, you go first.
Mine's a hot take.
Get that hot take out of here.
Get your hot take out of here. You're hiding from me.
Get your hot take out of here.
I just said my hot take was Jordy Creep wasn't on my list.
Well, sure, yeah, but I guess, okay, so I didn't approach it in the same way. I have done just singles in past years before, because it does kind of seem like a good way to whittle it down a bit, but there were so many deep cuts from albums that I liked so much that I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Understandable.
Across my entire top 50. I've got that video in the works as well, so I will be doing a top 50 list pretty shortly here. Just been working on that. Gonna pump that out.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully before the end of the year.
Oh.
But to get right into it, Sure.
Oh, well, hold on. Well, hold on. Another thing too. Okay, most of these aren't singles, but some of them are more underground artists. I try to highlight them just a little more, but I still have some obvious choices. But hit me with your number 10 pick.
All right, I got The Cure with I Can Never Say Goodbye. So much good stuff on this Cure album, and that was the most emotionally impactful of the bunch, I think.
I am not even a little surprised.
Oh, you're not surprised by that pick at all?
Not even a little bit. You put the Cure on there. I just figured you just pick one of them
Yeah.
and slap it up there.
Yeah, yeah. Almost any song could go up here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only 10 on there and they're all pretty incredible. They really came back after fucking 16 years, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah, 16 years and dropped one of their best albums somehow. I listened through almost their entire discography this year before this came out, and I was still shocked and impressed by this one.
Hell yeah. So right off the bat, my list isn't even the slightest bit objective. I was just like, these are the songs I probably played the most. So number 10 is Lithonia with Childish Gambino. A single that I loved, and then the album came out, and I still thought the single was a lot better. I don't even think Brando Stone New World made my top 50 list this year. But I just wanted to highlight that song specifically because it was just so good.
Yeah.
And then, is the movie real? Is the movie happening?
I don't I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with the movie. I don't know if this is a soundtrack for a fake movie or what, but the music video thing looks cool.
So let's get into your number 9 spot.
My number 9 spot goes to Shoo Shoo with Beneficium. One of their best songs. I love that repeated riff that kind of acts as the hook of the song. Again, we saw this one live and that made me boost it up even more, I think. It's Shoo Shoo at their most accessible again, but like it feels like an anthem almost, and it is insane. Such an absolute fantastic sounding song from them. And it's got that manic energy you come to Shoo Shoo for still. I think it's the best one on the album. Do you think so?
I went with Common Loon on that album as my number 9 spot, ironically.
Oh, we have the same band for number 9?
Yep.
Well, that makes the graphics easy.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
I had actually written down Common Loon if he picks Beneficium, or Beneficium if he picks Common Loon. Because I figured you're going to pick one of those two tracks on that album.
Oh, yeah. Common Loon is a solid contender.
And if you picked neither, I would have went with Common Loon.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess that kind of covers the bases. Those might be the two best there.
They are. I just love the opening of Common Loon so much that it just squeaks it just slightly over for me. But Beneficium was equally as fantastic.
Nice.
I just like the loud guitars.
Their rockin' stuff they did on here, kind of getting a little bit more in that typical rock bag, was super cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think Common Loon was just as good of a pick.
Definitely. I would have to agree. That's why I picked it.
I suppose.
I agree with Beneficium, though. What's your number 8 spot?
I went with Take Me Home from Knocked Loose.
Oh.
Yeah, not a single, not kind of a deeper cut from the album, but I remember.
Well, look, big tough guy here. Hardcore band fan, big tough guy.
You could pick any song from the album. I just like this one the most, except for maybe the title track, which did drop in 2023, I believe.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so this felt like the obvious one. I love the little eerie sampled kind of percussive elements in the mix. I remember listening to this whole album and just having my mind fucking blown. My jaw was on the floor listening to this, but this is one of the harshest moments on it, and it's really great for that reason, I think.
Hell yeah. I went with Von Dutch by Charlie XCX. This was my broad summer, and this is how I want to live it.
Fuck yeah. At least for the original version of the album, not considering anything else, I would totally agree. That's the best.
Yep. Now that there's the remixes, I would have to agree, but back then I would have chosen probably Guess. But with the remixes in play,
True.
I'm going to go with Von Dutch.
Von Dutch is such a banger.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What was your number 7 spot?
So, again, kind of a deeper cut from one of the albums, but I think this one stands out the most. You got You Tried That Thing Where You're Mr. Human by Quadeca. Sees Quadeca at his most vulnerable and emotional, and this song is just a lot to take in at an emotional level, and it is so raw. It just hits. It's like post music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a fantastic pick from that album. Personally, I think I would have chosen Guess Who. That was one of the more like catchier songs, of course, but like definitely solid picks all around.
Yeah, with Scrapyard being probably leftovers from other projects, you had quite a big mix. So if you want to go that way, that is totally fine. But this was just the most emotional song on the album, and it just affected me a lot. So I had to put it here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I decided to go with Ratata by Tyler the Creator on his new album Chromacopia.
Oh, really? That one, huh?
Yep, that one ended up being the one that I decided to choose. Ratata was just the one that I kept listening to over and over again. Even though Sticky was my favorite at the time, I think Ratata is my favorite now.
Of the bangers on the album, of the loud, aggressive tracks, that is also the one that I prefer. I will be on the same page with you there.
Yeah, it's just heat all around, and the music video was also heat.
Yeah, true. Such a banger.
What was your number 6 spot?
Funny enough, I also went with Tyler the Creator for my number 6 spot. So I guess one place above you. I went with Darling I from that album. So
that was a close one. I was like hovering over that one and this one a lot.
Yeah, this one immediately struck me as one of the most fun ones to listen to and just one of the most replayable all around. I love that they're kind of the two sides of the album, you know, our two picks here.
Hell yeah.
Very mellow one. Love the concept in his lyrics that he's laying down here. And it's so catchy, it's so accessible, but like really, really hits. That fucking Drop It Like It's Hot sample is awesome too, with the percussion, the little pops in there.
That was fantastic. I loved Darling I.
Yeah.
Going along with Ratata. Hard choices between the two of them.
You could pick almost any song from that album and be totally fair, but contrary to both of our picks, Like Him probably deserves it the most.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, just at like a merit of the song on its own legs, that's one of his best moments ever. So I feel like we have to shout it out, you know?
That's fair. That was your number 6 spot. My number 6 spot is a little bit of a weird one that I don't think you'd necessarily expect. I chose So What If I'm a Freak by Snow Strippers.
Oh, that's fire.
I played the shit out of this song.
Hell yeah. I did not expect you to have Snow Strippers anywhere near this high.
It didn't make top 50, I don't think, so I had to throw them on there somewhere.
The whole project, you mean? The EP?
Yep.
Fair enough. I will give a little bit of a spoiler for the top 50 and say that Chained Up almost made my top 10.
Hell yeah.
From the same project. That is such a fun song, though. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, dude, I love the song, love the samples. Just like that was just my favorite song on the album, EP, easily.
That's totally fair.
And one of my favorite songs of the year. What's your number 5 spot?
My number 5 spot, I went with a pick in a totally different genre, but somewhat in line with the Quadeca song below it. I went with Adrian Lenker with Vampire Empire.
Oh, that was a good one. I forgot about Adrian Lenker.
Yeah.
Damn, there's just too much good music to choose from. I just was like picking from my recent favorites.
Yeah, great folk album from her this year.
Fantastic folk album.
Probably the best.
Definitely.
Do you think that's fair? Yeah.
Of the year? Definitely.
And this song has lore that kind of runs deep with the Big Thief community because it was played live, I want to say, or a demo was released, and then everybody wanted it to be released. And then they did release it, but it had different lyrics. And then on Adrian Lenker's actual album here, she put out basically the original version, and the original version hits so much better for whatever reason. It's very raw, it's very emotional, and it is such a good track all around.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Sad cowboy music, Big Thief demo, all that shit, fantastic pick.
Awesome. What do you got at number 5?
I Didn't Ask by Brutus 8. An album we didn't review on the podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It ends up being one of my favorite albums of the year. It doesn't hit my top 10 or anything, but just like you know how the old thing goes. You come back to your 8s and 9s more than your 10s.
Yeah.
This is definitely true for Brutus 8 here. Love his first and third albums.
That's awesome. Yeah, pretty obscure pick.
Yeah, it got some dark wave. No one has reviewed the album since I made a review So go do that, motherfuckers.
And this is Pure Gluttony, right? That it comes off of?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Brutus 8's Pure Gluttony.
Would you say it's their best album?
No, I would say Hackney Pursuit is their best album.
Nice. Yeah, I have listened to that one, and I can absolutely co-sign on that same opinion. You should go check them out.
Yep, and whoever keeps rating them, whoever rated it at a 41, fuck you.
I mean...
There's only 4 ratings.
I mean, have your takes, but...
No, keep them. Keep your takes.
Keep your takes.
What's your number 4 spot?
God, honestly, like, I'm sitting here right now in the moment, and I'm like, do I even keep it this low? But the 3 above it are so good that I guess I have to. I went with Twice by James Blake and Lil Yachty from Bad Cameo, which we already talked about today.
I see you.
Yeah, so everything good I said about Bad Cameo, like, double it and do it to this song, I guess. Do it twice. 2 times.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's got like a really cool emotional edge to it, but also it's just so easy to listen to, and I love both vocal performances so much. I love the instrumentation of it. That little switch that happens in there genuinely gives me chills.
I went with Houston by Your Arms Are My Cocoon.
Oh, wow. This high up, huh?
Yep, that song bangs. And their album Death of a Rabbit. That song, Houston, is a perfect song, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pull from the back here, get some more heat picks on here. Yes, the song is. Oh, it's only 3 minutes. Thank God. I thought it was like 10-minute song. That's Runner Duck. That's a 10-minute song on that album.
Yeah.
It's a song about a car crash, so hopefully they don't do anything terrible, because that's usually how the way she goes with this kind of music. But very weird Midwest emo, screamo, slacker rock.
Yeah.
Mixed bag here. It's fantastic. Go check it out if you haven't. I know a lot of people have. And it's very abrasive. It's not for everybody. So if you told me that 10 out of 10, I'd be like, sure, fair enough. If you told me it was like a 4 out of 10, for sure, fair enough.
Yeah, it is really weird of a sound. Yeah. Very experimental band.
Yes, sir.
I did pick the same song, but way lower. So I'll give you that for sure. It belongs in a list.
What's your number 3 spot?
My number 3 spot, I have the Girl So Confusing remix with Lord.
Girl, so confusing sometimes.
Yeah.
To be a girl. I should have picked that fucking song.
Over Von Dutch, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was such a cool little moment. Girl So Confusing was immediately one of my favorite songs from the album to begin with. And then there was the whole thing where it was speculated that it was written about Lorde, and then they worked it out on the remix, and it was beautiful.
And then they were like, the internet's going to go crazy for this one. They were right. We did.
They were right, yeah. It's just one where you have a catchy pop song, but the sweet little moment that it is will put a tear in your eye.
Hell yeah.
It's beautiful. It's a wholesome moment, but it's also just a banger of a song.
Absolutely fan-diddly-tastic.
Definitely.
You know what else is fan-diddly-tastic? My number 3 pick. I picked Get Lit by Kamasi Washington.
Nice. That is a good pick.
This track on this album, I feel like it's the most accessible one of the album. It's just fucking awesome.
Good replay factor there for sure, yeah.
It's groovy. It's got some funk elements, and if you're lit, it's even better.
I suppose that would be the case.
What's your number 2 spot though?
I have The Magician by Jordy Greep, a song we've already talked about quite a bit.
That's totally fair.
Yeah, 12 minutes?
So that means we'll move right on.
12-minute song, I believe, but worth every second.
Hell yeah.
I don't come back to it as much as many of the songs we've went over today because it's so long and it's a little bit to get through, but every time I do, I'm like, wow, it really is as fantastic as I remember it being, and it's always shocking.
Well, I'm glad that you have a fantastic song to come back to. You know what else is a fantastic song to come back to once in a while?
Sure.
My number 2 pick, Dark Harvest by Ghost Mountain. The return of Ghost Mountain
Whoa.
was such a moment.
This high?
Yes, sir.
That's fire. Go ahead, though. I'm sorry, I was shocked.
Gotta keep the Haunted Mound fans happy.
Yeah, yeah.
The return of Cemetery and Ghost Mountain duo. I was just so happy this came out. I fucking played this song 1,000 times. I don't know how it didn't end up in my Apple Music Wrapped or whatever. But and then I went and listened to 100 Acre Wrist over and over and over again because I was just so happy that they were back together.
Same energy, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is in my top 20, I believe.
That's fair. I decided to pick this as number 2 because I wanted to hear Shiloh go, whoa!
It's not a bad pick, but I am shocked that you put it that high. I mean, that's got to be your hottest take here.
I've had my Haunted Mound arc this year.
Yeah, yeah. It's a fantastic one. Such a mixed bag from Haunted Mound this year, but that was the highest high.
Yeah, some of the best and worst they've ever made.
Yeah, definitely.
And then let me guess what your number 1 take is. Who did your number 1 song?
Well, I mean, you probably already know. Take your pick.
Is it Kendrick Lamar?
Of course.
Was it Not Like Us?
Of course.
That's what mine was.
No, I'm kidding. Actually, it was Girls by The Dare. Better than everything on the list. Yep,
You figured out where to sneak it in.
Yep, no, I was just fucking with you. It's not even Not Like Us. You know, the big moment that song was, no, it's overshadowed by by Girls by The Dare.
By LCD sound system at home.
Fuck. Nah, I'm just playing. It is Not Like Us, of course.
Okay.
Of
I knew
course.
it was. I almost gave it number 2 just to make you go even more of a wow, but that was just so wrong.
Yeah, with the moment that this whole thing was, it's just hard to even argue for anything else at the top spot.
I'll take a Like That or any other diss track.
I originally had this written down as Meet the Graham / Not Like Us because it's like they're so different and they're part of the same thing. So it's kind of like you need both of them. But Not Like Us, just being the moment that it is, being the song that it is insane.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and the more you come back to it too, everything he says on the song is catchy. Like every line's catchy.
The whole fucking beef was catchy on Kendrick's side, and like this song is song of the year, song of the decade potentially. Like holy shit, this is such a big moment in hip hop in general. We've been talking about this for a while.
Best diss track of all time, I would strongly argue. With what I was saying about it being as catchy as it is, that's a crazy thing to do because each line sticks in people's head. So you've got all of these little lines, whether it's calling Drake a really often, calling him a colonizer, it's all so memorable.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Meet the Grams has a higher rating, surprisingly.
Depending on how you look at it, it's a better song, but my Roomba has escaped. Hold on one moment. Oh my god, my cat. My cat's here too. Jesus Christ. Okay, bad Roomba timing aside, I think it can be argued that Meet the Grams is the better song just because of the concept that it is and what it specifically does.
Yeah.
Absolutely vicious, that one. Really ripping into him. Crazy.
Yeah, easily best song of the year. I think that's going to be the coldest take of the podcast ever.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the critics' consensus even, I mean, if we pull up Album of the Year here, where they've got all the year-end scores, that is number 1 by a lot, I think.
Yeah. But that's all for are we ending for this year?
Yeah, so this is pretty much it for the year. I'm not sure what we're gonna do next week if we're putting out an episode. If you got suggestions, feel free to pop them in the comments.
We'll definitely be back either on the 7th of January or the 31st, the end of the month here.
Yeah, but this pretty much wraps it up for 2024. Also, you have bigger lists than just the top 10s, right?
I have a top 10 songs and I have a top 50 albums.
Okay, so that'll be linked below. So if you want to check out some more picks from Micah, that's where you can find that. If you want to hear some more picks from me that are lower down the list and everything, then I have videos dropping pretty soon doing the same thing as well.
Hell yeah.
So 2024 comes to a close. Micah, what do you got to say to the people at home?
Adonis will still play Meet the Grams when Drake makes him mad.
That's pretty wholesome, and we'll see you next time.